Are you tired? I'm tired. Are you tired of working with playlists like this in Plex, just dragging it around, doop doop? Mm-mm-mm. I hate it. I don't know why they haven't fixed this, but I kinda have. So just as an example from the future, this is what we're gonna make. We have a playlist that has an episode of Digimon, 2 episodes of Bleach, an episode of Pokemon, an episode of Dragon Ball, an episode of One Piece, and an episode of Detective Conan. And they're shuffled within their own series, but they repeat that pattern. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Over and over for 6,000 episodes. There's a lot of other options you can do too. They don't have to be shuffled, of course. You can just do them in order. And there's lots you can do. There is a built-in Plex API that you can use. And I've built a script that does a bunch of stuff with it. I've made it free. You can go to h.io, link in the description, download it and run it. And this video is going to be very long. There's going to be timestamps for you to find exactly what you're looking for. But I'm going to go through everything that the script does. Another thing, other than working with playlists, mostly this is playlists, but I've also added an option in the script for you to scan very specific folders. I know that when you have a very large library, it can actually take a really long time to scan sometimes, and it's kind of annoying. You might have a lot of different folders kind of all put together, and it just scans through them all. You can't tell them, oh, just scan this folder. For me, I actually move files from the PC that I use to rip Blu-rays. So I buy a Blu-ray, I rip it, and I encode it on that PC. And then I drag it through a network share onto my Plex server. Because I move it off of a network share, the Plex server doesn't register that as a change in the file system. So like if I moved a file into a library within the same PC, Plex would be like, oh, let's scan that if you have the setting checked for that one. Doesn't work that way for me, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that work that way as well. So I've added a thing to the script so that you can just say, hey, scan this folder, and it'll scan just that folder, takes a second, and done. Because I've found that sometimes when scanning stuff, it might take 3 hours to scan through the library and get everything in. I have a very large collection. So before we get started, I do want to clarify that this is not my actual Plex server. I've made a dummy Plex server just to show you how it works. And in the Plex server, here's my Plex server. So I created this little 4-second black video. It's just this. That's all it is. And I wrote a script that will just copy it, and it takes movie names and TV episodes and whatnot, and it turned that into them. You can see it's 111 kilobytes, and we can go into Bleach here, and these are all that 111 kilobyte file. Yeah, so Plex will actually import them and think that they are the actual files. I just wanted something that's easy to work with and will be able to show everything that I need to without showing my actual Plex server. Yeah, and I did that for movies as well. Okay, so I'm gonna move that over there for now. When you download the file, you're going to end up with this CPPM.rar. Oh, I thought that I made this a zip. I guess it's a rar. Okay. You're going to want to extract all. If you're working on a different operating system, you probably know how to extract on that operating system. And you're going to end up with this here. So in this folder, we have 2 folders here and a couple things. So import, that one's empty for now. We'll go into that. There will also be more folders if you use certain things in the script. It creates some folders for logs and stuff like that, and backups. In the scripts folder, we have, this is the actual script. You can open it up in any text editor you want. We'll open it up in Notepad. Notepad will do just fine. Let's close that. And then in this install here, these are the things required to actually run. So it really just requires Python and then two dependencies called Colorama and Plex API, of course. If you know how to install those on your own, go ahead. You can also just use this, run it, and it should install just fine. If you're trying to run this, you might get some warnings. In fact, running any sort of like unsigned or unofficial script or program will cause warnings in most operating systems if you haven't set it up in a certain way. So you always want to be careful, but all of my scripts, they are just raw code. It's not a compiled program or anything. So you can literally open up the script and see all the code that's in there. Do whatever you want with it. It's totally free as well. So do what you will. Just don't sell it. You might get smart screens showing up saying Windows protected your PC. In order to run this, all you got to do is click more info and then run anyway. If the browser for some reason warns you when downloading, like Chrome or Edge saying this file can be dangerous or something like that, you can just click keep or keep anyway. So I'm just going to run this anyways. It's all installed, so it's not going to really do much, but I'll just double click and run it just so you can see. Yep. You can see what that is. Once you've done that, you have all the stuff on your computer that you need to run this. So now you want to open up this script, which we've done already. We've opened it in Notepad, and we need to add a couple things in order for it to recognize our Plex server. So you need your Plex URL and your admin token. You also need the library names in order to access the libraries. So I know the ones that I made for my new one here, they're just movies and TV shows. It's just the automatic ones. So we'll type that in. Library name is the TV one. Sorry, I didn't feel like going through and adding TV to that. This is TV shows like that. And this one is movies. Now, what the hell is a Plex URL and an admin token? They're very specific things. So the Plex URL is the IP address plus port 32,400. It's the IP address of your Plex server. So you want to go on to the device that is running your Plex server and find the IP address of that. I'm just going to show you on this PC, but I'm also going to block stuff out. So you open up a terminal and type ipconfig. Sorry, not everybody knows how to do this. Hold on. If you go up into this and search cmd, open command prompt here, type ipconfig like so. I'll zoom in for you. ipconfig, enter. I'll zoom out a bit. All right, so we've blocked some of this stuff, but what you want is if your Plex, I imagine your Plex server is probably not running on Wi-Fi, but if it is, you want to find either the Wi-Fi adapter or the Ethernet adapter. You shouldn't have to unless you're a tech nerd, and if you're a tech nerd, you don't need me to tell you what you're doing here. So find your Ethernet adapter, and then it'll be your IPv4 address. So the 4 numbers separated by dots right here next to IPv4. Write that down. You need that. And then bring it over to the script, and you're going to plug it in. So you're going to plug it in right here, and I'm sorry, going to block it. Then you want the admin token. The admin token, what's that? You probably didn't even know that existed. I know I didn't. So if we come over here, we can just click on any file. So you want to go to an actual file, like an episode or a movie. We'll click on just this. And then you want to go get info. And here you can click view XML. Once you do this, if you go all the way over up here, you'll see x-plex-token equals. Everything past that equal sign is your token. So you want to copy that out. And paste it in here. Of course, these are things that you want to keep private. This server, I'm going to delete after this because it's just fake. So I didn't hide that, but you can see what it looks like. It's sort of alphanumeric like that. Now we have access to the server. As soon as we save this file, let's save it as a courtesy save. Now, if you want to work with playlists for various users. In fact, if you've provided access to your server to another account, like you have a friend with a Plex account and you said, hey, you can access my server if you want, you can actually make a playlist for them as well, which I thought was interesting. Seems like maybe there might be a security problem there with Plex. I don't know, but it's probably on purpose. All you got to do is put in their usernames. I've never had a problem with usernames, but you can also try putting the email that they used, and either should work. Yeah. For me, so my users are ArcadeB1 and User1. We'll copy this, paste it there. And you want to always make sure that everything is written exactly as Plex has it. There are no extra spaces here. This is correct. This is like all the capitalization and spacing is exactly what Plex has. Now, this here, let's just kind of go through this for a second. This is what allows you to scan specific folders. So you have to put in the actual folder location. So for me, I actually have it here. I'm just going to paste it in so you can see. So let me just actually separate this a bit so it's a bit easier to see. These tabs should be okay. You don't have to worry about that. You can put some spaces in here between the quotes. So like we have 2 quotes connected here and 2 quotes connected here. You can put space in here and that should be okay. These first parts, these are just names we're giving to the path. So this has nothing to do with the actual Plex server. This is just for this script. I'm calling this one Movies. I'm calling this one Simpsons. I'm calling this one One Piece. So what you want is in quotes, the name, whatever you want to give it, followed by a colon, and then in quotes beside it, the full path to that folder that you want to be able to scan individually, followed by a comma. And all of them, make sure they have commas at the end, and they should be in between these 2 curly braces. Pretty simple. Got to make sure it's just that exact. Everything is exact. This is the full path copied right out of Windows or whatever operating system you're using, and should be fine. You can do that for all sorts of folders. I have like 20 on my actual personal server. So now that that's filled out, that's all you have to do. We're all set up. Now we can start using the script. But remember to save it. File, save. And all should be well. We can actually just close that now. So now we can back out of here. This batch script, all it does is run the script. So here, let's drag this into Notepad. And you can see it just goes Python, then the path to the script here. So it goes scripts and then CPPM.py. Alternatively, you can also just go in here and if you click up here, you can type CMD or, well, actually here, I'll show you. Hit enter and it just opens up and you can see we're already in this folder. You can do that from any folder in Windows. Or you can click in here and go open in terminal and it does the same thing, but it's opening in PowerShell. Actually, I haven't even tried this with PowerShell. It'll work in PowerShell. You might have to do it slightly differently though. If you're using PowerShell, you know what you're doing. So, okay. So in this main folder, we have run CPPM, which will just run the script. So I will double click this and show you. Boom, the script opens. But first, I'm just going to go through the rest of these files. We got the README. The README goes through everything I'm talking about in this video. And then we also just have a crappy little logo. This is the logo. So you can attach this. So say you wanted to put it on your desktop, you can go send to desktop, creates a shortcut there. Then we can go properties, change icon. And then here, you can just do this, paste the path in here. Oh, right there. apply, okay, and now change to that. And now actually, let me show you, you double click that and it opens up the script. So easy peasy, I'm just gonna get rid of that. I would suggest moving this folder somewhere safe. I personally have, let me show you what I do. In the C drive, everyone has the program files and regular program files, these two here. I usually create a third program files alternate folder here for just like portable programs and scripts that I've written and other stuff like that. I would throw it in there, something like that. You can throw it in your documents folder if you want, whatever. So I'm just going to zoom in on the script so it's a bit easier for you to see. In fact, I might just full screen it at some point. So when you run it, you're presented with this. So these are all the things you can do. Create a new TV playlist, create a new movie playlist. So that it's important that these are separate because movies and TV don't mix libraries. Open a playlist backup file. So with this script, you can work on building a playlist, and then you can create a backup, which is effectively just creating a save file for it. And then you can open it up again later and keep building upon it or make some changes or whatnot, or even just like save it so that maybe someone else on your server might want that playlist as well, and you can just open it up and give it to them. It also allows you to kind of iterate. You can make a backup halfway through and then make some changes and save a separate backup, and you know how saving works. You can also copy a playlist from one user to another. And you can also copy a playlist for a single user. This just allows you to make a double and give it a new name within the server. You can print titles or playlist contents. So this is mostly important for the movie playlist. With the TV playlist, it's really, really fun and easy to kind of like do searches and put everything together, but movies are a little bit less complicated. When I make a movie playlist, it usually just like inflates in size and it has no organization or anything. So what you can do is use this to print the playlist contents and then import it into a new movie playlist and deal with the organization in the script. And then the seventh one is to scan a directory. So why don't I just show you how scanning a directory works right now? It's the simplest one. So we'll go 7, enter. Now this shows me all of the directories that I put in that script. This isn't pulling from Plex yet. This is actually just the script. Now I can choose 1 through 5, whichever one I want to scan. None of these have anything new. In fact, actually, why don't I do something here to show you? Okay, I'm just going to delete every Beverly Hills movie. Oh, and that one. Sorry, Chris Farley. Okay, and now we'll scan movies. And do I have it here? Let's open up movies, find the Beverly Hills. Okay. So we have the Beverly Hills movies here. And now I'm going to scan the movies folder. So I select number 1, press enter. So my movies folder was actually the incorrect path. That's absolutely the incorrect path. I don't know why I thought that was correct. So we'll open up the script again. Fix the path. Yeah. That should be correct. Okay, let's try that again. When you make a change to the script, you have to launch the script again. So we'll do that. Okay, so we want to scan a directory. Make this look a little bit nicer. There. So scan the movies. Now you can see it's scanning movies. And there, it just updated, it's gone, it's done. And Beverly Hills, they're all gone. So it actually works. Future Kate here. Something I forgot to mention here is actually that you can run a scan with a specific command without actually going into the program. So I'm going to just create a batch script that you can just run and it'll run a specific scan. So all you got to do is this. We'll go echo off And I'm going to put this directly in here with the CPPM script. So I won't need to change directory or anything. All I have to do is go run Python, run, or with Python, run CPPM.py, scan. So I'm going to tell it to scan. And the reason that we gave the directories or folders names is so we can put them in here. So it's super easy. So I could type just movies, which is the name of my movies folder, or Simpsons. And I could also do Simpsons movies, and it would scan the Simpsons, and then it would scan the movies. Additionally, you could also just go scan 2 and scan 4, and that would just be the number in the list. It doesn't start at 0, it starts at 1, so it would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. But yeah, just running that would run the scan. Additionally, you could open command prompt and just type that in, and it would do it. You can also, no one's going to want to do this. So there are 3 options. You can put the number that is the number of the directory in the list within the script, or you can put the name that we gave it, or you can actually just put the file path. So you would you'd have to do 2 quotes, and in here you would go like C drive movies or whatever, and that would work too. And you can do that for multiple whatever. Yeah, and then you could save this. We'll just do we'll save it in here, and we can call it scan 1, 2, and you want to make it a batch script. Then we have that here, and now if I run this, let's open up. Oh, I closed it because this is the future. Okay, now I have it open here. Let's just run this. And you see open and closed, and now it is running. It ran the scan and it's done. You can see that it popped up for a second. So that did work. Back to past me. So I'm just gonna move that off screen now, and I'm gonna make this full screen. So let's get started with making playlists here. So I'm going to start with a big one. I'm going to make a new TV playlist from scratch, and it is going to be a doozy. Select one. And listen, I know this is a command line interface program, and it feels daunting to people, but this is so much easier than actually working with Plex. And it's also kind of fun. You feel like a hacker from Hackers. So once you select create a new TV playlist, you're prompted to search for a show title. I'm going to have this off screen so I remember what shows I'm working with here. And I'm going to need some more information. So I have the list of Digimon shows from the wiki here, so I remember what's what. Do I need any other ones? Dragon Ball. I didn't add Dragon Ball Super. That's fine. We'll skip that one. Okay, so what we're going to do, search. So this just functions like any normal search. If you're not diligent with the way you spell things, it's going to be a problem. Like if I go Dragon Ball, one word, it's going to show nothing. Press Y. Whenever it says a letter for you to type, Y, N, sometimes there's C or R. It can be capital or not capital. It's fine. So I'll just type yes, search again. We'll go Dragon Ball. There. Now we have 5 shows. It gives you the information about them. So we'll add just the first series. So select a number or type R to search again. So I'll select 1, and now it asks you if you want to add another one, and of course I do. Let's add Detective Conan. So you just type detect. And so the reason that took a little bit to load was because there's 1,211 episodes, and it's not taking a long time to search. It's actually pulling in the episodes, like all the episode information. So we can add that, Detective Conan. Then we'll add another one. We'll go Digimon. And the first one is Digimon Digital Monsters. So number 9. Oh yeah. Let's do Naruto, add number 1, Pokemon, and One Piece. Luckily, it does, like, it knows this letter with the accent on it as an E, so even though I didn't type the accent, it still knows. We'll add that, yes, and we'll add One Piece. Number 1. And then I'm going to move on, so no other shows. Notably, there are more. There's Naruto Shippuden, which I want to follow Naruto. I don't want it to be in the playlist as like part of the rolling cycle that I'm going to make for the playlist. Once Naruto is done, I want Shippuden to take over for Naruto. And same with the Digimon shows. The first one will finish, and then I want the second one to go. And same with the Dragon Ball shows. And we can do that. So this says set the same number of episodes per round for all series. You can change this later, but yeah, we'll just go with yes for now. And we'll say 2 episodes per series per round. So what this means is Dragon Ball is going to have 2 episodes, and then whatever the second one was, Naruto is going to have 2 episodes, and then Pokemon is going to have 2 episodes, and then One Piece is going to have 2 episodes. So 2 episodes of each before we go back to the beginning and do 2 more episodes of each. And you can change this per series. So you can be like, oh, I want 4 Pokemon, and then I want 2 One Piece, whatever. We can set that up. If you chose no, you would be able to set it up for each individual one. And in the last step, you can also go back and edit anything you've made. So, all right, next thing, we can reorder these shows. And you can see it does say this 2 here is the number of episodes per round. So we're going to have 2 Dragon Ball, 2 Detective Conan, 2 Digimon, 2 Naruto, 2 Pokemon, and 2 One Piece. Now, if you want to change the order, it's really simple. We have this list here. You enter the number of the series that you want to move, and put in the position that you want to move it to. So I want Dragon Ball to be here in position 5. So Dragon Ball is going to be just before One Piece and after Pokemon. So I'm going to do 1, move to 5. Just like that. 2 numbers with a space in between. And boom, we have Dragon Ball between Pokemon and One Piece. Easy peasy. You can keep doing that. And if you're done moving stuff around, you can type Y and move on to the next step. Now, say I've watched the first, what's a good one to do this with? One Piece has something like 24 seasons, and say I watched the first 2 seasons already. And I don't want to include them in the playlist. So what I'll do is, for One Piece, which is number 6, so I enter 6th in space, I want to remove 2 seasons. So I go S2. And then I click enter. And you can see that One Piece will start at season 3, episode 1. Now, if I've already watched 5 episodes, I can go One Piece is number 6 and remove 5 episodes, E5. And now it starts on season 3, episode 6. So let's go to the next step by pressing Y. This is where we add follow-up series. So Detective Conan doesn't have a follow-up series. Actually, there are a couple things you probably could put on there, but I'm not going to. Digimon does. Naruto only has 1. Let's start with Naruto. So we're going to do Naruto. Now I can search for a show to follow. So I'm going to type in Naruto again. And do number 2, because we want Shippuden to follow. And we can say, so here we just kind of run through the few little steps to tell this what it wants. We go 2 episodes for Naruto per round, just like all the other ones. But if you wanted that to change, you could change it there too. And you can trim it the same way we trimmed the first seasons and first episodes of that one show. It would be the same thing, but I'm going to just go yes to continue. And we can add another one. So here you see the path is number 3, Naruto. And after Naruto, we have this arrow that shows Naruto Shippuden. And over here, we have Naruto has 220 episodes and Shippuden has 500 episodes. Together, they have 720. Now, all of the series together have 4,522 episodes. Let's continue building this playlist. So, Digimon and Dragon Ball are the two series that we have to work with here. So let's build up Digimon. Enter a show title to search for, Digimon. So the next Digimon show is Digimon Tamers. And that's 7 episodes per round, 2. And then continue. And then we're going to add another Digimon, so I can select 2 again. And type in Digimon. After Tamers, there's Frontier. Wait, don't type the name in. Select number 4. Episodes per round is 2. And continue. And you can see it keeps building up here. I'm going to do this for the rest of the series. It's the same thing over and over again. You don't need to sit here and watch it. Okay, so this is what I have here. We have all of the Digimon series here. We're missing Dragon Ball Super. That's fine. And after Naruto, I put Bleach, because why not? We can see the total for the Digimon series is 559 episodes. So this is going to run out halfway through when Detective Conan, the Naruto run, Pokemon, and One Piece are going. So like that might be okay, because currently we have a cycle of 6 different series. So that's 12 episodes. If we're doing 2 episodes per, that'll be 12 episodes in a row until we roll back around to Detective Conan. That might be fine. Halfway through, we run out of Digimon, and then it's just 5 series we're going through. That might be something I might do. For a series this big, I might actually want to do 1 episode per round. And then for anything where there's like 2-parters, if I end on a cliffhanger, I'll just like manually move the 1 episode that ties to that cliffhanger. But yeah, you can use this episode amount information to adjust the number of episodes. So let's move on to the next step now that we have our paths set up. Here, so if you've worked with Plex, you know that specials are kind of a mess. So I actually didn't include the specials in the main episode list. So we've added all of those shows, but none of the specials are in there. Because what it would do, it would add all of the specials at the start, right? Because it's season 0. So if there are specials that matter to you, you can either skip this step and manually add them. If there's just a few, that might be fine for you. Manually add them on Plex, or you can do it here. I actually don't know anything about the specials for these shows, really. But Detective Conan has a bunch of specials. So I'll show you how inserting specials into positions within the playlist works. So what we're effectively going to be doing here is say we want Detective Conan, and we'll select a specific special. And then we're going to say, place this special after this specific episode. So let's get into it. We'll work with Detective Conan, number 1. And here we have a list of all the specials. It detected them from Plex. These are all the specials. So we select a special to add, and then the episode that it should play after. So special number 1 is season 0, episode 1, Conan versus Kid versus Yaiba. So we're going to go number 1. And I don't know where this takes place, but let's say it takes place after season, oh boy, Detective Conan is technically only one really long season. So what we'll do is we'll just put it in somewhere. We'll go season 1, episode 35. So when we're going through the playlist, the episode that will follow episode 35 will be this special. So now I press enter. and it is done. It's removed that special from the list. We can go back later and make a change to that if we want, but it's removed it from the list because we've done it already. Now we can do the next one. And the reason that it does this is so that you can just kind of get in a groove of being like, number 1, where do I want it? Then next one, number 1, where do I want it? So you can just kind of go through the list like that instead of having to change numbers. Yeah, and I mean, you just do that for each one, tell it where you want it. And if you want it to follow, like say I want this second season 00, episode 02, I want this one to come immediately after the first special, I can actually just type in the first special. So we go 1 S00 E01. So I want it to follow the first special, and it will do that. See, added episode 2 after episode 1. Okay, let's move on. And yeah, don't need to do this anymore. It's the same, obviously, across all the things. Okay, now we're here sort of at the final stage. This is what our playlist looks like now. And we have all of these options here. So we can finish and create the playlist if we're just totally satisfied with the way it is. We can quit without creating. If you do both of these things, it will actually allow you to create a backup before it does anything. So if you select that, you're like, oh no, it will actually allow you to have a backup. I'll show you that in a second. Or you can just create a backup immediately and keep editing in case you wanted to like save this form and then make some changes. You can go back and add more shows. This is adding new paths, right? So I actually maybe should have named that paths. So if you add shows here, this would add a number 7 and a number 8. You can change the number of episodes per round by going in here. You can also reorder the series. So these blue ones, they're actually just the steps that we did before. Like it will take you back to the same menu and it will function the same way. Then we also have some new green ones here. So we can change specials locations here. We also can just straight up remove shows. We can insert a show into the middle of a path if we want. So you'll notice when we were adding these follow-up shows, it was adding them back to back. We can insert one into the middle if we want by using this. We can reorder the series in a single path. So if I put Tamers last, but it should have been second, I can use this one here. And we can make a playlist shuffled. So this kind of just like throws away a bunch of stuff that we did. You can also keep the shuffle within a path. I'll show you that in a little bit as well. And we also have the shuffle status right here. So let's just kind of go through these things in order, and you can just see. So we'll go number 1, 1, add shows, and it does the same thing. Search for a show. And then you can add it if you want. We go. Then we can leave blank to cancel. No. Change number of episodes per round. Let's go in there. Set all the same number of episodes per round for all series. So let's go yes. And I would prefer it to be 1 episode per round. Oh. I will fix this before I put the video up. But what that did was it actually changed only the main series to 1 per round and not the follow-up series. So I'll fix that, and it will, when we do that, it will fix it. Future Cade here. I did fix the thing. It was 1 line of code that I had an error in. So we'll open up a backup file, and let's do 1. Then we can go back into change number of episodes per round, and we'll go yes, and we'll change it to 1, and this will change them all to 1. There. It works properly now. So if we reorder series, this is reordering paths, right? So this takes us back to where we were. You can see 1 episode per round for each of these, And I can change the order of them by going, oh, I want number 1 in position 6. And it'll move Detective Conan down below One Piece. Like that. This takes us back. Trim starts. That's the removing the episodes or seasons from the beginning of a series. Do that here. We'll remove, we'll do 5, E1, and One Piece will start at episode 7. See, episode 7. 5, add follow-ups, so we can add more follow-ups to these. I'm not going to add anything right now. And then add specials. This just takes us to the specials menu as well. Just like before. Now, let's do change specials locations. What did I do? I did Detective Conan, which is number 6. So these are the 2 specials that I have entered already. So I can say, actually, this second special, season 00, episode 02, it's currently after the first special, but what I want it to be is actually after episode 70. So let's go season 1, episode 70. And it updates it. So we can straight up just remove shows. This allows you to choose, do I want to remove a whole path? Like, do I just want none of the Dragon Ball ones here? Or do I want to remove an individual series and maintain the path? So if I remove a path, it'll remove all of these Dragon Balls. But if I remove an individual series and say I want to remove the original Dragon Ball, but none of the other ones, this should take Dragon Ball Z and plop it here, and it'll keep those. We will remove an individual series and maintain the path. So let's remove Dragon Ball is number 4. And we leave blank to return to the menu. Now, let's go back in there. Actually, we can see it here. Yep, Dragon Ball Z moved up to number 4. And these are the follow-ups. Let's insert a show into the middle of a path. Let's add Dragon Ball back in. So once we've added the series here, we get to choose what position in the path we want. So we have the path listed here. And as of removing Dragon Ball, the first one is Dragon Ball Z, followed by GT, Kai, and Daima. But we want it to come before the first one, Dragon Ball Z. So we just put it before number 1. And now Dragon Ball is back in position there. We'll return to the menu with Y. With 10, we can reorder a series in a single path. Let's do that. We will reorder the Naruto. Enter the position of the number of the series you'd like to move, followed by the position to move it to. So let's move Bleach to the beginning. So we'll start with Bleach and follow Bleach with Naruto. So we'll move number 3 to position 1. Boom. Now, yes. Sorry, that's old. Yep, and now Bleach is before Naruto. Y to return to the menu. So I'm going to press B to make a backup of the playlist. Enter a name, Big Boy. Now, you can see it created a backups folder here. In here we have bigboy.tv.cppe. So .cppe is just what the script recognizes as a backup file for the script. And the .tv is the type of playlist it is. So whether it's TV or movies. And Big Boy is obviously the name that we entered. So I made a backup, and it backed up exactly as this is. So let's actually just close this. And we'll run the program again. Now let's open a playlist backup file. That's number 3. And it shows us, let's make this bigger, zoom in. We have one backup. Let's open that one. Yeah, this might take actually a minute because there's like 6,000 episodes. That wasn't so bad. And here it is. Look, it's all there. So I'm going to show you this shuffle. Enter 11, make playlist shuffled. So how should the playlist be shuffled? You have 2 options. Shuffle episodes in the individual series, maintaining the follow-up order. So if I choose that one, we will have the rounds go correctly, right? Like, so currently it's 1 for Digimon, and then once Digimon ends, it'll be 2 for each of these. Let's assume these are all 1. I will fix the script to make that function properly. So we'll have an episode of Digimon followed by an episode of Bleach followed by Pokemon, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Detective Conan. Now, among all of the Digimon, like the first Digimon series, not including these, all of the Digimon series will be shuffled in their positions, and then all of the Bleach will be shuffled within their positions. So we'll get an episode of Digimon that's totally random, and then an episode of Bleach that's totally random, then an episode of Pokemon that's totally random. Then once all of the Digimon Digital Monsters episodes have been played, or have been placed in order, then it will randomize Digimon Tamers. It'll have a random selection of those in their positions. I think that makes sense. I think you probably understand that. So option number 2, what that does is we will have an episode of something from this path. So it could be any one of these, followed by an episode of any one of these, followed by an episode of Pokemon, followed by an episode of any one of these Dragon Ball shows, followed by one of One Piece and one of Detective Conan. Instead of keeping the path order, it actually shuffles the path altogether. Let's do 1. Now we have another option here. We can maintain series episodes per round, which is kind of like all the work we've done does that. So it would be like all 1s. Technically these say 2, but I'll fix that. It would be 1 of each. Or full randomization, random episodes per round, maintaining the shuffle series path from the previous menu. So what that does is it disregards the number per round, but Digimon Tamers will not show up until all the Digimon Digital Monsters episodes have been put in the playlist. So it disregards the number of episodes per round. You might end up with 3 Digimon episodes in a row, but you will never get Digimon Tamers until all of the Digimon Digital Monsters have shown up. And then the third option is forget it, just randomize every episode. That is just a full shuffle, all rules out the window. We'll do number 1. Let's create the playlist. Let's do it. We go C, create the playlist. So enter a name. We're going to go Big Boy Shuffle. We will print a log file. Yes. Would you like a backup? Actually, yeah, but whatever, that's fine. We'll create a backup. Now, who do we want to give it to? So Arcade B1 is the admin. We'll do that. So it adds 100 at a time, so it doesn't overwhelm the program, but it goes pretty quick. And that's it. It's done. So let's go over here. This was TV shows, playlists, and Big Boy Shuffle is here now. Oh, I was very confused. I was like, 6 hours, 35 minutes? That's not nearly long enough. But no, it's because all of the files are technically 4 seconds long. But yeah, you can see here, we've got Digimon, Digital Monsters, Bleach, totally random episodes. And it is doing the 2 episodes of Bleach, and all of the follow-ups are going to be 2 episodes. Again, I'm going to fix that. Don't worry. But if we scroll down, I hate these tiny scroll bars. So let's scroll down here. So we still have Bleach. We still have Digimon Digital Monsters down here. And then, yeah, Bleach. But now we've moved on to Digimon Frontier. You can see that all the Digimon episodes are Frontier. So that does function correctly. Oh, my kitten is yelling at me from outside the door. I'm sorry, baby. Okay, so that worked. Now we're back at the main menu here. Let's open a playlist from backup again. We'll just open the pre-shuffle one, so that's number 1. Okay, so we have this now. This is the original one that's not shuffled. You can see shuffle is off here. Let's create another one. And I'll just call this Big Boy No Shuff. Print a log file, and now we don't need the backup because we have a backup of this already. And we'll put it in user 2. Okay. Now, if I switch user, go to user 1, playlists, and we have Big Boy No Shuff. It worked, and it'll be in the correct order. We got our episode 1s, and we start One Piece at episode 7 of season 3. All correct. And like, this is so pleasing to me because if I wanted to do something like this, it would actually be impossible on Plex. Like, you would spend your entire life dragging these episodes around. And that's not even a joke. Like, 6,000 episodes, it takes like a minute to drag one from top to bottom. So we've created a TV playlist. Let's leave movie playlists for now. We've opened a backup file, and that's easy peasy. What we'll do is we'll copy a playlist from one user to another. So I have this managed user playlist movies and managed user playlist TV. So this is in the managed user. This is user 1, right? We will switch back to the admin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy one of those to the admin, and I'll actually show you. See, these are the only ones in the admin here. So we have playlist from admin, TV playlist from admin. So copy a playlist from one user to another. So we are copying from the user 1, so that's number 2. And we want to copy to the admin user, number 1. So these are the 3 playlists on the managed user. See, those are the 2 that I showed. We'll copy the movies one, number 2, and we'll call it copied list. And it's done. Now, it's not there, but I need to refresh. So we'll just click over here on TV shows and then back onto playlists. And here we go, copied list. Copy playlist for a single user. It's the same thing, but you just choose one user and give a playlist a new name. I guess I can just show you that real quick. We'll do that. We'll make a copy of let's make a copy of something small. We'll do number 3 and call it herpader. And then refresh. Herpader has the verbs up top, just like whatever the other one was, probably this one. Yeah. Easy peasy. Okay, so print titles or playlist contents. This has a few options. You can print everything from a playlist or literally everything from a library. So let's do it. Number 6. Print movies is just print the movies library that you've entered in your like in the script. When you edited the script with your library, it'll print all of the movies from that library. Let's do that. This might take a second. Okay, so you can print plain titles or print for import. So making a movie playlist is easier if you print the list for import and then just kind of copy out the movies that you want, because a lot of movies have the same name and it requires some information to know exactly what movie you're talking about, right? So let's just kind of do both. I'll just print plain titles and I can show you the difference. Okay, so we'll do more. Actually, let's print TV shows. I know I haven't shown you what it actually does. Give me a second. We'll do TV shows, and that just printed the library of TV shows as is. The only reason to do that is to just have a list of your TV shows in your library. So we can print a playlist of movies. So this will bring up any playlists we have that have movies in them. Oh, I entered the wrong number. So yeah, we'll print a playlist of movies, and it'll load the playlists that have movies in it. We'll print copied list, the one we copied from the managed user, and we'll print for import. We'll do a playlist of TV shows. You know, I just realized right now that I actually didn't include the option to choose a user you want to select a playlist from. I will do that. And there will be a step in here before this where you choose a playlist. It'll be choosing a user, and it will list the playlists from that user. I don't know how I missed that. We'll choose just number 2. Actually, let's choose number 1. So when you're doing when you're printing the TV show playlists, so it creates a list of every item in that playlist of every show and episode. But you can also make it so it just prints a list of the shows without the episode numbers. So you'll end up with like Pokemon Dragon Ball Z, blah, 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 Pokemon Dragon Ball Z, blah, blah, blah. And we'll do that so I can show you. Was there anything else? Oh, print a collection. Do I have any collections? I do. I have a Christmas collection. And we'll print plain titles. Yeah. Okay, so we've literally printed every option. Now, if we go here, we have a new folder titled titles, which is the one we just created with those print things. But we also have logs. So when we created the playlists, we created logs. So let's open that up. And you can see it shows you the playlist summary, the exact thing that it showed when we created, and then just every episode. That's what the log is. Then if we go into titles, we can go, so the movie titles import. So we have all of these say -TV titles or movie titles _ import. These change based on the type of print that you did. So let's just open up TV titles, and you can see it's just every TV show that's on my Plex server, this fake Plex server right now. If we open here. So you can see this is the stripped one where it doesn't show the episodes, but it shows just the list of everything, right? Then movie titles import. So this has the import information. So this is the kind of thing we would use if we wanted to make a movie playlist. So movie playlists require a little bit more hands-on work, sometimes, depending on how you want to do it. But yeah, this is literally every movie in the movie library, in my fake Plex library. And then we just have like all the movie titles as well. So this is the collection. Same thing. Okay, so we have done everything except for create a movie playlist. This was actually the last thing I added, because I didn't really know how I wanted to do it, but I think I figured out a pretty good way. So let's create a movie playlist. So you can build a playlist from scratch by searching, or you can import a list of movies. And this is why having that full list of movies from your library is really helpful. Let's just build a list by searching first. So you can search by different things, but if you just type in a search term, it'll search by title. So why don't we just go, we'll make a, yeah. So these are all the movies with the word Chris in it. And now, to add items to the playlist, enter their numbers, these numbers here. You can add multiple by separating the numbers with a space, like so. And you can return to the search with R or move to the next step with Y. So what we can do is actually just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 23, and then 11. So it's 23. 23 is A Christmas Prince, The Royal Baby, and 11 is A Charlie Brown Christmas. Cool. So it will add these 10 movies in this order. Then it'll add A Christmas Prince and then A Charlie Brown Christmas. Let's move to the next step. Cool. So now you can see that is exactly what it did. This is the playlist currently. So we can sort by release date. Let's do sort by release date. And now you can see this is sorted by release date. Let's see. This is, okay, yeah. So this is sorted in 2019. This movie, The Royal Baby, came out before Black Christmas. But alphabetically, Black Christmas comes before A Christmas Prince. Let's test it out. So if I go sort by release year, then title, we should get basically the same thing, but these two should be swapped. And I think these two should be swapped as well. Yep. And if we go sort manually, what this allows us to do is manually enter the numbers and tell them where to go. So there is a big description on how to use this part. So we can go, let's actually just type in number 4 and it will tell us how to use this. So if we scroll up here, it shows us. So manual sort instructions. So the following list of movies will be used as an example in these instructions. So you can see the list here. To move items to the top of the playlist, enter a 1, followed by the items in the order that you would like them, right? So 1, 3, 7, 10. So we'll take Caveat, The Fly, and Lake Mungo and move them to the top in that order. Caveat, Fly, Lake Mungo. And then the rest are in that order. Moving to the bottom does the same thing. So 2 will move stuff to the bottom. 3, 7, 10. So Lake Mungo, Titan AE, and Evil Dead. We enter that 2, 3, 7, 10. We get Lake Mungo, Titan AE, and Evil Dead at the very bottom. Now you can move to position as well. So moving to position, you enter a 3 for this option, move to position, then the position you want to move stuff to. So let's move to a position 4. Now, position 4 is alien. Then we want to move 1, 9, and 10 to position 4. That's Caveat, Titan AE, and Evil Dead. But the thing is, Caveat is position 1. So if we want to move it to position 4, everything kind of gets pushed up by 1. So it's actually moving to position 3. And you can see here, the Fly moves up, Arrival moves up, right? And then Caveat, Titan AE, Evil Dead. Easy peasy. So let's return to the sorting menu and we can test this out. So I want to move to top. We'll move 10, 11, and 12 to top. And there you can compare the two. 10, 11, 12 are now 1, 2, and 3. Let's return those to bottom. So 2, 1, 2, 3. And we have moved these 3 back to the bottom where they were at the top. Let's move to position. And we'll move to position 7. And we'll move a Charlie Brown Christmas, 8-Bit Christmas, and A Boy Called Christmas. Now, remember, because position 1 is before position 7 effectively becomes position 6 because we're telling it, put it before Arthur Christmas. But when I move a Charlie Brown Christmas, Arthur Christmas moves up to 6. So we should see a Charlie Brown Christmas at position 6. Charlie Brown Christmas, 8-Bit Christmas, A Boy Called Christmas. Just like that. And that is honestly much easier than dragging shit around in Plex. Next step. So we can create the playlist, back up the playlist, or return to the search and add menu. So add more items to it. Let's just create the playlist. We'll put it in, we'll call it manual. Print to log, sure. Print a backup file, yes. And put it on the admin account. Cool. Check and make sure it's there. And manual is there. So let's check out what else we can do with the movie playlists. So we built a playlist by searching. We can import a list of movies. We can import an existing playlist and import a list from an existing collection. So collections and playlists are different. You've been using Plex, so you know that. Let's just quickly import the one collection that we have. So Christmas is the one collection I made from earlier. Sorry, I know that the last playlist I made was Christmas, but this is the actual collection, right? This collection here starts with 8-Bit, Arthur, A Bad Mom. So we'll do that. And now we have this list: 8-Bit Christmas, Arthur, A Bad Mom. And now we can mess around with this if we want. We can create a backup of it for a playlist. Yeah, let's exit. We will create a new movie playlist. Import an existing playlist. So we have these playlists here. We'll import number 4, the playlist from admin. This one here. And you can see it's there. And we can manage it just like anything. We'll exit. So we will import a list of movies. If I go number 2, it tells you there's nothing found in the import folder. So we'll open up our titles and we have movie titles import, right? We created this in the print menu. So we'll open this. If you're doing this, you probably know all these things, but if we go Control F, we can search for something. I don't know. What if I just search dad? What do you mean you can't find dad? I can't find dad. I need an adult. I'm in the wrong one. Here. Okay. Copy that. Oops. Cool. We'll call that it. So we want to save this in the import, and we just call it whatever we want. We'll just call it Papa. And you want it to be a text file, .txt. Don't change that. Close these. We'll come back here and we'll try again. Exit. We will create a new movie playlist, import a list of movies, and now it sees this here. And it imports them, and you can see everything we've put in there is there, and we can manage this however we want. We can also just actually go search some more and put them in. You're not relegated to just using the import. You can add more by searching and whatnot. Yeah, and I mean that works the same way as everything else does. You just create and it'll do it. So let's we'll go B. Dad came back up. Then we'll exit. Let's open a playlist from backup file. So you can see I have TV, movie. And it will open in the right part of the script, obviously, for whatever type it is. So if we open the third one, which is the movie one we just created, it'll open it up. I don't know why this one's taking so long. Must have been a bad connection. And it's open. We'll exit, and then we'll open the TV one. They're all really big. That's fine. And there we have it. It takes us into the TV editing one. Yeah, I think I covered everything. So I hope this helps you. I hope it makes life easier for you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe. This isn't kind of my normal thing. I know one of my most popular videos is another Plex one, but I am a writer. I write horror with sort of a queer focus. I haven't published anything yet, but follow me if you want me to. I've been going for 94 minutes. I'm sure I'm going to edit this down to something a little bit less without all of my ums and pauses, but I'm sure the video will be very long as well. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and yeah.